The thing about family dinners is, you never expect them to be the place where your entire life implodes. It was 7:23 p.m. on a Thursday evening. My mother's dining room, 12 people around that mahogany table my parents bought to show off their success. And my sister Jessica stood up, clinked her wine glass, and announced my engagement. The engagement I'd told her about in confidence 2 hours earlier. The worst part wasn't that she stole my moment, it was that she claimed my fiancé had proposed to her first, and she'd graciously turned him down so I could have him. Complete, fabricated bullshit. And everyone at that table believed her. Let me back up. I'm Emma. I am 28 years old, marketing manager at a tech startup in Seattle, and I've spent my entire life being the family scapegoat, while my older sister Jessica played the role of golden child. You know that family dynamic, where one kid can do no wrong and the other can do no right? Yeah, that was us. Jessica graduated from UCLA with a communications degree. My parents threw her a party for 200 people. I graduated summa cum laude from the same school 3 years later. We went to Olive Garden, just the four of us, and my dad spent the entire meal on his phone. When Jessica got her first job as a receptionist at a law firm, my mother literally cried tears of joy and posted about it on Facebook 17 times. I'm not exaggerating, I counted. When I landed my position at the startup, a company that would go on to be valued at $500 million, my father said, "Well, let's hope you can keep this one. You know how you are." How I am. As if I was the problem. Jessica borrowed $15,000 from me over the years, never paid back a cent. When I asked about it once, my mother pulled me aside and said, "Why do you have to be so petty? She's your sister." Jessica crashed my car when she was drunk. I had to pay the deductible because my parents said I should have known better than to leave my keys where she could find them. She told my high school boyfriend I was cheating on him. I wasn't. We broke up. She dated him 2 weeks later. And my parents? They just watched. Or worse, they encouraged it. Then I met David. I met him at a work conference in Portland 15 months ago. He was a software engineer. Kind. Genuinely kind. The type of man who remembered your coffee order and asked about your day and actually listened to the answer. We started dating long distance. Then he moved to Seattle for me. For me. Do you know how rare that is? To have someone choose you? I kept him away from my family for as long as I could. 10 months. But eventually the excuses ran out and I had to introduce them. The first meeting was okay. Jessica was on her best behavior, laughed at David's jokes, asked him questions about his work. My mother loved him. She kept saying things like, "Emma, you did good," with this surprised tone, like she couldn't believe I was capable of attracting someone decent. My father grilled him about his salary, his career prospects, whether he wanted kids, standard overbearing dad stuff. David handled it well. I thought maybe, just maybe, this could work. Then the text messages started. At first, they were innocent. Jessica would text David memes, funny videos. "Just wanted to make sure my future brother-in-law feels welcome in the family," she'd say. But then they got weirder. Late-night texts. "Can't sleep thinking about the future." Photos of herself. Not inappropriate exactly, but why was my sister sending my fiancé pictures of herself at the gym? David showed me everything immediately. That's important. He was uncomfortable, but he didn't want to cause drama, so he kept responding politely. I confronted Jessica. She laughed it off. "Oh my God, Emma, you're so paranoid. I'm just being friendly. Why do you always think the worst of me?" And when I told my mother, she said, "Jessica is just excited to have a brother. Don't be jealous." Jealous. of my sister hitting on my fiancé. David proposed to me on a Saturday morning in April. We were hiking at Rattlesnake Ledge, just us, the mountains. This perfect, quiet moment where he got down on one knee and told me I was the best decision he'd ever made. I called my best friend Casey first. She screamed. We FaceTimed. She cried. It was perfect. Then I called my mother. She was underwhelmed. That's nice, dear. Have you set a date? You know Jessica has been dating that lawyer for 3 months now. I'm sure they'll be engaged soon too. Even my engagement had to be about Jessica. But I didn't care. I was happy. David was happy. That's what mattered. The family dinner was scheduled for 2 weeks later, just a regular monthly dinner my mother insisted on hosting. I planned to announce it then, in front of everyone. But Jessica called me that afternoon, said she needed advice about something important. Could we talk before dinner? I got there early. We went up to her old bedroom. She still lived with my parents at 31, by the way, but that's another story. I told her, showed her the ring. She hugged me. Congratulations to me, said she was so happy for me. I believed her. 2 hours later, we're all at dinner. My Aunt Linda was talking about her cruise. My father was pouring wine. My cousin Michael was scrolling on his phone. Then Jessica stood up. Everyone, I have an announcement. My stomach dropped. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. Emma has something exciting to share. She's engaged. Okay, I thought. She's just excited. She's announcing it for me. It's fine. But then she kept talking. And I have to confess something. David actually proposed to me first, about 6 months ago. The room went silent. David's face went pale. What? It's okay, Jessica laughed, like this was charming. I told him I was flattered, but he should be with Emma. She needs someone, you know? And I thought you two would be perfect together. So really, this engagement is kind of because of me. I couldn't breathe. David was shaking his head. That never happened, Jessica. That never... David, it's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed. I'm not upset. I'm happy I could help my little sister find love. My mother was smiling. Jessica, that's so mature of you. That's not true. I finally found my voice. That never happened. Emma, my father's warning tone. Don't start. I'm not starting anything. She's lying. David, tell them. David tried. He really did. He explained that he'd never been alone with Jessica, never had feelings for her, never proposed to anyone before me. But Jessica had tears in her eyes now. I don't understand why you're both denying it. I'm trying to be happy for you, Emma. Why are you attacking me? And just like that, I was the villain. My Aunt Linda gave me this disappointed look. My cousin whispered something to his wife. My mother told me to calm down and stop ruining dinner. David and I left. We got in the car and I just broke. I didn't sleep that night. David was furious in a quiet, contained way that was somehow worse than yelling. He kept saying, we should cut them off, all of them. And he was right. I knew he was right, but there was this part of me that kept thinking, maybe if I could just prove she was lying, maybe if I could show them who Jessica really was, they'd finally see it. They'd finally choose me. I know. Pathetic, right? Casey came over the next morning. She found me on the couch, still in my clothes from dinner, scrolling through old text messages. Tell me you're not trying to convince yourself this was somehow your fault, she said. I'm not. Liar. She sat down next to me. Emma, I've watched your family treat you like garbage for 15 years. This is your out. Take it. Walk away. I can't just... Yes, you can. But I didn't want to walk away. Not yet. I wanted them to see. So I started documenting everything. I went through my bank records and found every transaction where I'd sent Jessica money. $15,347 total over 6 years. I screenshot every text message where she'd asked for something and promised to pay me back. I found the insurance claim from when she crashed my car. The police report that showed her BAC was 0.12. I collected every Facebook post my mother had made about Jessica, 217 in 5 years, and compared them to posts about me, 14, including birthday posts. I made a spreadsheet. Yes, I know how that sounds, but I needed it organized. I needed proof. Then I found something interesting. Jessica had a blog. I'd found it by accident searching for something else. She used a pseudonym, but it was definitely her. Same writing style, references to things only she would know. And on this blog she wrote about her life, her ungrateful sister who doesn't appreciate everything I do for her, her fiancé who doesn't understand boundaries. Wait, fiancé? I kept reading. She'd been dating the lawyer, Mark, for 3 months, according to my mother. But according to Jessica's blog, they'd been together for 8 months. And she wrote about David. A lot about David. Saw D again today at Emma's apartment. He's so polite, always trying to be nice even though I can tell he's uncomfortable. It's sweet. I wonder what he'd be like if he wasn't with her. My hands were shaking. There were dozens of posts like this. Fantasies about David leaving me for her. Plans for how she could help him see that they were better matched. And then, 3 weeks before the proposal, this entry. Emma told me David might propose soon. She was so excited, so naive. She doesn't see how he looks at me. She never sees anything. I think I need to do something. I can't let her trap him. I screenshot everything. Then I called Casey. I found it, I said. I found proof of everything. Casey helped me organize everything into a single document, 43 pages. Bank statements, screenshots, blog posts, the insurance report, everything. What are you going to do with this? She asked. I don't know yet. But I did know. I was going to show them, all of them. My mother called 2 days later. Emma, you need to apologize to your sister. She's very upset. Apologize? For what? For accusing her of lying, for ruining the dinner. Your father and I raised you better than this. Something inside me snapped. Mum, did you know Jessica has been borrowing money from me for years and never paying it back? That's between you girls. Did you know she crashed my car drunk? That was an accident. Did you know she's been inappropriately texting my fiancé? Silence. Then, Emma, I think you need to talk to someone. This jealousy isn't healthy. I'm not jealous. I'm done. I hung up. David found me in the kitchen crying into a bowl of ice cream. What happened? I told him. He held me while I sobbed. We're not going to the next family dinner, he said. Yes, we are. Emma, I need to do this, one more time. I need to show them who she really is. The next family dinner was 3 weeks later. My mother called 4 times to confirm I was coming. She was worried I was still upset about the misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. David didn't want to go, but he came anyway. Because he's David, and he loves me. I printed the document, all 43 pages. I made copies, one for everyone at the table. We arrived at exactly 7 p.m. Jessica was already there playing the gracious sister. Emma, I'm so glad you came. I was worried after the last time. We need to talk, I said, all of us. My mother frowned. Emma, if this is about... It is. Everyone sit down. My father looked annoyed. We're about to eat. Sit down. Something in my voice made them listen. I placed a copy of the document in front of each person. My parents, Jessica, my Aunt Linda, my Uncle Rob, my 2 cousins. What is this? Jessica asked, but her voice was tight. Proof, I said, of everything. I walked them through it, page by page. The bank statements showing $15,347 in loans, never repaid. The text messages where she promised to pay me back next month, over and over for 6 years. The insurance claim showed she'd been drunk when she crashed my car. The police report my parents never bothered to read. Screenshots of her inappropriate texts to David, dozens of them, including ones where she'd sent him photos at 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. Those were innocent, Jessica said. Were these innocent? I pulled up the blog posts. I read them out loud, every fantasy about David, every cruel thing she'd written about me, every calculated plan to sabotage my relationship. The room was silent. My mother looked pale. My father was reading the documents, his jaw tight. Jessica was crying. You're taking everything out of context. That blog, that was just me processing feelings. Everyone has private thoughts. You've been lying to them about us for years, I said. My voice is steady now, calm. You stole my thunder at dinner because you couldn't stand me being happy. You made up a story about David proposing to you because you wanted to ruin our engagement. That's not... And you've been stealing from me, financially and emotionally, for our entire lives. I turned to my parents. And you let her. You enabled every bit of it. You favored her. You believed her. You made excuses for her. And you made me feel crazy for seeing what was right in front of me. My mother's hands were shaking. Emma, we didn't know. Yes, you did. You chose not to see it. Jessica stood up. You're all going to believe her. She's the one who's always been jealous of me. She's the one who... Jessica. My father's voice cut through. Sit down. She sat. My father looked at the documents for a long time. Then he looked at me. Why didn't you tell us? I did. You didn't listen. He had no response to that. My Aunt Linda was crying quietly. My Uncle Rob looked furious. At Jessica, I realized with shock. Emma, I'm so sorry, Aunt Linda said. I didn't know. I should have paid more attention. My cousin Michael was reading the blog posts on his phone. This is... Jesus, Jessica. This is messed up. Jessica was full-on sobbing now. I didn't mean... I was just... Emma, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I was done. I stood up. David stood with me. I'm not looking for apologies, I said. I'm letting you know that I'm done. David and I are getting married next June. You're not invited. None of you. My mother gasped. Emma, you can't. I can. I am. Jessica needs therapy, not enabling. And you two, I looked at my parents, need to figure out why you sacrificed one daughter to prop up the other. I took David's hand. If you want to be in my life, you need to prove it. Real change, therapy, accountability, not words, actions. And we left. That was 8 months ago. My parents started family therapy 3 weeks after the dinner. My mother calls me once a week. We talked for a few minutes. It's awkward, but it's something. My father apologized. A real apology. He cried. I'd never seen him cry before. Jessica went to rehab, not for alcohol, for behavioral issues. My mother finally admitted Jessica had been manipulative since childhood, but they'd never wanted to see it. My Aunt Linda and I are closer now. She's helping me plan the wedding. My cousins both called to apologize for not speaking up sooner. David and I got married last month. Small ceremony. Just the people who actually love us. Casey was my maid of honor. My parents came. I allowed that after 6 months of consistency from them. Jessica didn't. Do I forgive them? I don't know yet, but I'm free. For the first time in 28 years, I'm free from being the scapegoat. free from begging for scraps of approval, free from a sister who saw me as competition instead of family. And here's what I learned. Sometimes the people who should love you the most are the ones who hurt you the worst. And sometimes walking away isn't giving up, it's choosing yourself. Finally, the wedding was beautiful, by the way, and David, he's still the best decision I ever made. As for my family, we're rebuilding, slowly, on my terms this time. And Jessica, last I heard she's doing better, really working on herself. Part of me hopes she finds peace, but that's her journey. Mine is just beginning. If you've experienced family scapegoating or toxic sibling dynamics, you're not alone. Check the resources in the description. And remember, you deserve people who choose you every time.